I think we have the greatest economy actually ever in history.
One thing I want to note, the jobs report's going to come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have to revise our expectations down significantly for what a monthly job number should look like.
But it sounds like you're expecting a weak number tomorrow.
Trump just got some terrible news. No, not that Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show was the most viewed of all time, but the once rock-solid foundation of Trump's voter base is crumbling.
Are this area where there's just so much concern right now.
Yeah, Donald Trump took a beautiful swan and turned it into an ugly duckling as far as the American people are concerned. Because these numbers, as John and I were discussing just before this segment, absolutely crazy in how the American people have totally turned on Donald Trump.
According to analysis from CNN's data team led by Harry Enton, the group that has been the foundation of Trump's political strength, the pillar of his almost unshakable and infuriating standing in U.S. politics, older, white, working class voters. That voter group is shrinking sharply in both enthusiasm and support. Enton warned that Trump's approval rating with the key demographic within his base, non-college voters in particular, was, quote, absolutely collapsing and dragging the entire Republican Party down with it.
If you know anything about Donald Trump, you know that he built his 2 presidential victories on winning voters without a college degree, while Donald Trump's base with non-college voters is absolutely collapsing. What are we talking about here? Well, why don't we just take a look? Voters without a college degree on Donald Trump. Look at this. Back in 2024, he won those voters over Kamala Harris by 14 points. You come over to this side of the screen. What's his net approval rating with him? He is underwater by 9 points. Oh, that's gonna hurt!
During an on-air breakdown with polling numbers as of recent, Enton revealed a dramatic reversal among the very voters who helped power Donald Trump to electoral victories both in 2016 and 2024. He said, quote, voters without a college degree on Donald Trump back in 2024, he won those voters over Kamala Harris by more than 14 points. Before going on to say that his net approval rating in that demographic now is underwater by 9 points.
He is underwater by 9 points. That's a 23-point switcheroo with his base of non-college voters. He is absolutely collapsing with the group of voters that helped put him into the White House, Kate.
Okay, so how are these non-college voters feeling about 2026?
Okay, so you see this drop of 23 points, right? From plus 14 Trump to now he's underwater by 9 points. How is that impacting their views on how they're going to vote for Congress? Well, you see a similar story going on here, right? Take a look in the 2024 election. Republicans won those voters, those non-college voters, by 13 points. Now they're just ahead by just 1, 2, 3, 4 points. When you can count it on one hand, you know that you're in trouble if you're Donald John Trump and the Republican Party, in this case, the Republican Party, when it comes to the voters in Congress. And of course, a 4-point lead among non-college voters is not anywhere close to being good enough because Democrats are dominating among voters with a college degree, up by 20 points. At this point, the Democratic base with college voters is rising and the Republican base with non-college voters is collapsing.
The thing is, this change, it's already bleeding into congressional politics ahead of the 2026 midterms. Where Republicans once held a commanding advantage with non-college voters, that lead has shrunk to just 4 points. And the erosion comes as a result of Trump failing to do countless things, but especially revive American manufacturing as he promised, and with his tariff policies wreaking havoc on American workers.
You know, we have a fake news that doesn't get the word out. That's why I love doing an interview. We get the word out. Mm-hmm. But so you ask a question. In 50 years, a president that's won, even a popular president, somebody that's done well. I'm popular and I've done well. I mean, I think we have the greatest economy actually ever in history. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. That's said by everybody. We have the hottest country in the world. I guess I have to sell that because we should win in a landslide, and we'll do everything we can to do it.
They're talking about how they're working. He says, with the help of tariffs, we have cut the federal budget deficit by a staggering 27% in a single year. And even more incredibly, we have slashed our monthly trade deficit by an astonishing 77%, all with virtually no inflation, which everyone said could not be done. Now, Carl, we wait for a tariff decision from the Supreme Court. He does mention the court in this piece, too. It says he hopes they're paying attention, but he says for now, he's proving the haters wrong.
Yeah. Well, the problem is we need to go back to essentials. Olivia put her finger on it. He's making the same mistake Joe Biden made. Bidenomics is working. That piece in the Wall Street Journal is the economy is great. That's not what people feel. Last year, we lost 70,000 manufacturing jobs. We lost 145,000 blue-collar jobs. There's a great deck put out today by the Washington consultant and prognosticator Bruce Millman. Blue-collar consumer confidence is at a record low since 1976 when they began asking the question. The top 20% of the American population is responsible for 75% of the GDP. The bottom 80% is responsible for 25% of the GDP. The lower income households are bearing a bigger burden of inflation because of the things that they have to pay for, like rent and utilities, have risen higher.
The numbers also show that unemployment in the sector has fallen sharply since the start of his presidency.
New jobless claim numbers are out. They are higher than expected. About 209,000 people filed for unemployment benefits last week, which is a small drop from the week before, but it still is above forecast.
As I said, it's not just showing up in polls, right? But in elections, also in a Louisiana special election recently, Democrat Chastity Verrett Martinez won a state House seat that Donald Trump carried handedly in the past. In Louisiana's House District 60, Martinez won about 62% of the vote to her Republican opponent's 38%, a 24-point margin in a special election that drew national attention. I mean, that is a huge win under any circumstance, right? But what makes it truly jarring is the same district. They voted for Donald Trump by roughly 13 points in 2024.
Louisiana Democrat Chastity Martinez soundly defeated her Republican rival in a special election Saturday for a state House seat in a district President Trump won by 13 points in 2024. While the GOP still holds a resounding majority in the state House, this victory does continue a winning trend for Democrats. Since President Trump took office in his second term, Democrats have flipped 26 state legislative seats from red to blue across the country.
We haven't seen that type of swing since, well, just in January, right there, when Democrat Taylor Remitt not only won a seat Republicans once held firmly in Texas, but did so in a district that Trump had carried by 17 points in 2024. Yeah, there's a pattern forming here. In the January runoff, Remitt defeated the Trump-backed Republican by roughly 14 points, representing another massive swing away from GOP dominance to part of the state that hadn't actually elected a Democrat in decades.
New research from the Nonpartisan Tax Foundation finds that President Trump's trade war is hitting Americans maybe even harder than previously thought. Their research shows that tariffs raised taxes for an average American household by $1,000 last year. And that is expected to rise to $1,300 this year. The group calls it, their words, the largest U.S. tax increase as a percent of GDP since 1993.
One thing I want to note, the jobs report's going to come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have to revise our expectations down significantly for what a monthly job number should look like. When we were letting in 2 million illegal aliens, they're coming in. We had to produce 200,000 jobs a month for steady state. And by the way, all of the jobs that we were creating in Biden years were going to illegals. Americans were going to the unemployment lines. That's totally reversed. And now 50,000 a month is going to be more like what we need. So Wall Street, when this stuff comes out, they can't rain on that parade. They have to adjust for the fact that we're deporting millions of illegals.
That's a good
out
point.
Of our job market.
But it sounds like you're expecting a weak number tomorrow.
No, not expecting a weak number. I'm just saying that going forward, when we see a number under 100,000, we don't wring our hands. We say, yeah, that's going to be steady state.
So great to see you.
It's all good, Maria. Always great to be with you.
I mean, if these aren't wake-up calls, then Dozing Donnie is in for a rude awakening come the midterms. And, well, I'm here to watch it happen.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.